keeps control for Thompson. Pass receiving's wide open underneath in the basket. Great pass.
Backs down, now kicks out, up top to the left side, Caden Dahl. Dahl hesitates, then takes the three and knocks it home good. Dahl to get the turn. Carr trying to keep those legs underneath, then Cassette gets him down, and there's the pin.
Rebounded by Kendra Severson. Severson, here comes Bevins back the other way. Bevins, little contact, roll it in, good for Elena Bevins, and we're tied.
Through and Zeller with an excuse me bump, and here goes Semp for takeoff.
Halsted Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on yourliveevent.com.
Hey, welcome back to yourliveevent.com. We're here for our third place duel. Lisbon Broncos versus the Velva Aggies. That is your third place duel here on yourliveevent.com. That match underway, your first match underway at 114 pounds with Cruz Ranke. So this is Cruz Ranke for the Lisbon Broncos out on the mat. And wrestling Alex Lair of Velva. So Ranke wrestling for the Broncos.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the mat for third and fourth place. On mat number 1, it's Dickinson.
And that's a 2-0 lead for Cruz Ranke. So Ranke's up 2-0. In the match, turns over Lair onto his back. And working for the foul at the end of the first period. Only had 1 second on the clock, so time expires. It still had 1 second on the clock. And we're going to go on. It's 5-0 lead for Cruz Ranke. So try to get you your American Crystal Sugar starting lineups for Velva. 114 pounds, Alex Lear, Lucas Soli. 121 pounds, Pitch Hager. 127-pound Raider Barstead. 133, Maddox Campbell for Velva. 139 pounds, Brexton Yanish. 145 pounds, Carson Hildry, a stamp champion, or Lexton Smith. 152, Madden Barstead or Emmett Loggy. 160 pounds, Noah Werner. 172, Kelson Maskell or Lucas Sieber. 189 pounds, Evan Wrench. 215, Jaden Foss. 285, Jamison Rimey. Now Ranke working for the foul, has the head and arm locked up. And working for the pin for the Broncos. Ranke with the 7-0 lead in the second period. He has the head and arm locked up. Working for the foul for the Broncos, trying to put him up in the duel, 6-0. These placing round duels opened up at 114 pounds. And the win by fall for Ranke. Ranke puts the Broncos up by a score of 6-0. And then up at 107 pounds, we have Isaiah Hackman for the Velva Aggies. That's your American Crystal Sugar starting lineup for the Velva Aggies. Try to get you into our Lisbon Broncos. Broncos the number 2 seed in the tournament. Velva the number 1 seed, wrestling for third place. Your Ian Anderson for the Broncos at 107, along with Leo Zagato. Cruz Ranke at 114, 121 pounds is Grayson Lyons. 127, Cashton Waits, and 133, Noah Anderson or Gabe Gruba. 139, Jordan Dick or Weston Clausen. 152, Blaze Ranke or Blaze Ranke. 160, Eli Lyons or Riley Lucina. 172, Mike Nelson. 189, Brock Lyons or Madden Schwab. 215, Drew Anderson, and 285, Aiden Hinkle. So that is your American Crystal starting lineup for the Lisbon Broncos here, with Grayson Lyons out on the map for the Broncos in this third place duel. So we do have our placing round duels. Class B places through 8th place. Class A, 3rd and 5th place duels out on the mat. And Grayson Lyons, Pitch Hager wrestling. Broncos with the 6-0 lead. And also wrestling now for 5th place is New Salem Almont and Kildare. 5-0 lead for Hayes Weinberger of New Salem Almont at 114 pounds over Dean Dumas of Kildare. And then for 7th place, that's Kimmer Bulbill's Ken Mogren over Drew Carr, 6-1 in the second period. That's on mat 6. Now Pitch Hager with the 2-point takedown on Lyons in the first period with 34 seconds on the clock. So Hager has a 2-0 lead with 25 seconds on the clock. And now down to 12 seconds.
Score 66. Coyotes and Pigeons both on the board.
And start of the second period, Hager chooses bottom position, Lions on top. So Lions in the top position to start the second. Hager, he pipes back around Lions, buries that head and ear into the thigh of Hager. Hager trying to turn the corner, reaches over the top, grabs that back ankle of Lions. So pitch Hager has a 2-0 lead there. That's in the the second period. Hager in the bottom position. Lions catches Lions on hip, little stand-up hip pipes back around. 1 point escape, so 1 point now, a 3-0 lead for pitch Hager over Grayson Lions. We're at 121 pounds. Duels for the placing round start at 114. Here in our third place duel between the Broncos and the Velva Aggies. Championship duel will feature Northern Lights, the number 4 seeded team, against the number 3 seeded South Border Mustangs. So Hager drops down, level change on Lions as they roll out of bounds. Back for a restart. So restart back to the center of the mat. With 45 seconds on the clock, 3-0 lead for pitch Hager of Velva. That is a 3-0 lead. Hager with the underhook in the second period, down to 23 seconds on the clock in the second period. So just as they rolled out of bounds, Lions was just turned in the corner on Hager just as they rolled out of bounds. Back for a restart in the center of the mat. 3-0 is your score in the second period. And time expires. We're going into the third period. Lions chooses neutral. 3-0 is the score. Pitch Hager up over Grayson Lions. And Mat 8, Class B, 5th place match. Garrow Phelps, New Salem Almont, Jack Bombach. Bombach working for fall in the first period, down to 55 seconds remaining in the first period. And win by fall on Mat 8.
Over at mat number 8, that's Jack Bombach.
For Jack Bombach.
Tying up that duel, the 5th place match, 6-6. Killdeer versus New Salem. Over on mat number 8.
In the back with the Lisbon Broncos, Grayson Lions, pitch Hager for the Velva Aggies. And Hager tried to get a little slide by on Lions. Lions hit the level change. Hager now drops down to single leg on Lions, down to 48 seconds in the third period. Still 3-0 lead for Hager on Lions. So pitch Hager, a sophomore. Grayson Lions, a sophomore for the Broncos. You're at 121 pounds, 3-0 lead for pitch Hager. Wrestlers in the neutral position, locked up. Lions little level change on Hager, down to 30 seconds. Lions remaining active, now drops down, tries to pick the ankle. Hager snaps down Lions, Lions back up, bases and drives into Hager as they go out of bounds. And back 17 seconds on the clock. We're in the third period, still 3-0 lead. So it's 3-0. And that's your match score. Looks like your final match score. A little snap down by Hager, head tap by Lyons. Lyons going up to the last second. And that's the win by decision for Pitch Hager over Grayson Lyons by a decision 3-0. 6-3 is the dual score. And Will Mossbrucker working on Liam Albrecht of Killdeer. So Mossbrucker going to pick up 2 near fall, so he has 2 near fall. Albrecht drags down Mossbrucker. Now Mossbrucker in a double leg returns Albrecht down to the mat. And here waits and goes out aggressive. So working some under and over ties, trying to take out some aggression on his Velva Aggie opponent. Anderson fired up, or excuse me, Wadeson fired up. Wrestling Raider Barstead of Velva, a 7th grader. So Anderson goes in, underhooks on the near side. A little bit of hand fighting, minute 25, now 24 on the clock. Level change by Wadeson. Barstead shoots in on Wadeson, goes double overs, catches Barstead. Wadeson's just going to try to find which way to go. Throws Barstead down with the cash money. Working for the followers, Cashton Wadeson with the cash money move, and the win by fall for Wadeson over Raider Barstead at 127 pounds. Wadeson puts the Broncos up 12-3. And now Noah Anderson, Maddox Campbell step on the mat. A couple of returning state place winners here between Campbell and Anderson. So Maddox Campbell, 5th place at 133 pounds. Noah Anderson for the Broncos placing 3rd. And Anderson, little level change, tries to hit a high crotch shot on Campbell. Campbell with the underhook. Anderson back in on the high crotch. Campbell backs up. Here, 133 pounds on mat number 7. Broncos up in the duel, 12-3. We have a Bank North blood timeout. At Bank North, they take a community to heart, helping their customers achieve their financial goals while supporting and improving the great rural communities they serve. They're more than just a bank. A Bank North, it's a community partner they can always count on. It's values-based banking. To learn more, visit ibanknorth.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. So 12-3 is the score. In the duel, your Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sales scoreboard in this 3rd place duel between the Broncos and the Aggies. And now Anderson turns the corner, put the head in the hole, able to get back around the backside of Maddox Campbell. 12-3 duel score. 2-0 is your match score at 133 pounds. Broncos picking up a couple pins in the duels. And Velva with the win by decision at 121 pounds. Anderson has the 2-0 lead. So Anderson working over the top, down to 4 seconds remaining in the third period. And that does it. Campbell goes down to his hip, trying to spin back around, grab the ankle of Anderson. 2-0 lead for Noah Anderson going into the second period. So we're here 2-0 in the match. That match, 7th place match between Kenmare Bullbells and Carrington. That was Gage Holter wrestling Colby Zink. That dual score 16-0 in favor of Kenmare Bullbells. Here's a spladle attempt by Maddox Campbell on Noah Anderson. Anderson kind of hitting the banana splits spladle combination there as they go back for a restart to the center of the mat. 12-3 is your dual score. 2-0 the match score now. Your 5th place duel, Will Mossbrucker and Liam Albrecht. 12-4. Mossbrucker has the lead. Albrecht in the top position, third period, last 8 seconds. Albrecht has the arm locked behind the back of Mossbrucker. He's going to try to run it over, but he runs out of time. Will Mossbrucker hangs on for the 12-4 win by major decision on mat 8. Anderson with the 3-0 lead on Maddox Campbell. A minute remaining in the second period. Anderson with that 3-0 lead. He's in the top position with the lead. Now 5-0 lead for Anderson over Maddox Campbell in the second period. 23 seconds on the clock. So Anderson with the 5-0 lead. And working a thigh ride on Campbell, keeping Campbell on the mat. And Campbell stands up here at the end of the second period. 2 seconds on the clock and a stall warning issued immediately for Anderson. Should have seen that a couple days ago as the stall warning is coming out fast and furious in these duels. And now a minute 55 on the clock. We're in the third period. Maddox Campbell and Noah Anderson in the neutral position. Campbell shoots down here into a high crotch shot on Anderson. Anderson trying to hip into Campbell. Takes Campbell down. Now gets behind him. Another 2-point takedown for Noah Anderson on Maddox Campbell. 1 point given for Campbell. Not sure if that was another stall warning as Anderson was back on the ankle of Maddox Campbell. So I'm not sure what the score is. Should be 7-0, 7-1. Anderson should add another 2-point takedown, so 7-1's your score. Anderson up by 6. Match score 7-1 over Maddox Campbell of Velva.
Over on mat number 5, Central Cass picks up their first victory in the third place match by fall, with Lois Schneider picking up the fall in the first period, time of 1:45. Score in that duel is 33-6, with Legacy leading Central Cass.
So final 50 seconds, a 7-2 lead for Noah Anderson. Campbell with the 1-point escape. Anderson up by 5. Campbell drops down, hits another single leg, keeps that ear peeled to the inside thigh of Anderson. Anderson heavy on the top, grabs the back ankle on Campbell. Going to try to break this grip around his leg. Gets back around by Campbell. 2-point takedown for Anderson. 9-2's the score. Campbell stands back up again, up to his feet. Works the hand to Anderson. 1-point escape, 9-3. Anderson up with the 6-point lead. Down to 20 seconds remaining. Here's Campbell going into Anderson with the underhook on the near side. Anderson sticks that head down into the chest of Campbell. Kind of sticking those horns down into the chest of Campbell. Now 9-3. Anderson up by 6 seconds on the clock. Time expires. So Maddox Campbell, the junior, Noah Anderson, the sophomore, turning state or both state place winners this year at the state Class B individuals. Anderson wins 9-3 by decision. Broncos with 3 more points on the board. Take the 15-3 win by decision at 133 pounds. Yeah, 139. Here's going out Jordan Dick out on the mat. So Jordan Dick onto the mat. I did see there was an injury to Brexton Yanish in that previous duel. So looks like Brexton Yanish not able to come out for the Velva Aggies. Jordan wrestling Lexton Smith of Velva. Lexton Smith, an 8th grader, 15-5 record for Lexton. Jordan Dick, a senior, 18-17, has the cradle locked up on Smith. And the win by fall for Jordan Dick, just like that. The match is over. Here for Jordan Dick, the senior. Goes out with his last match of his career with the win by fall at 139 pounds. In Weston Clausen here, 145 pounds, wrestling Carson Hildry, the state champion. And Clausen, he's wrestled, this is his 2nd state champ he's wrestled. State champ or state runner-up. Here now a mat 7. So here's Carson Hildry, has a 2-point takedown. He's going to try to drag over Weston Clausen here at 145 pounds. Has the leg locked in on the near side. Going to drag over Clausen. Clausen rolls over for Hildry. Hildry puts a lot of pressure, has the arm around the chin of Clausen. Clausen still trying to bridge out, has the arm tucked behind his hips as Hildry has to roll him back over. Down to a minute remaining in the first period. 2-0, now 5-0 lead for Carson Hildry. That duel between Kildare and New Salem Almont. 5-0 lead in the match for Elijah Ramos over Hudson Buckles Casson of New Salem Almont. They're on 139 pounds. Dual score 16-6 in favor of the Holsteins. Under Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sales scoreboard. 7th place duel. Kenmare Bullbell is up over Carrington now, 28-18. That's at 172 pounds. So they're smoking through their weight classes over on mat number 6. Kenmare Bullbell is a little light in the top weights, so we're at 172. I believe they will have the 189-pounder. So right now that's Mac Chibertorono. Has a 5-1 lead on Landon Spear. That was on mat number 6 for the 7th place in your North Dakota Class B dual team tournament. Weston Clausen and Hildry. Clausen gets into the 2nd period with Carson Hildry. Clausen has choice. Hildry with the 8-0 lead. Now with trying to pick up the reversal. On the reversal, he hooks the leg and goes in with the inside cradle. 10-0 is the score. And Hildry bowls over Clausen. The shoulder stuck to the mat and a win by fall for Carson Hildry over Weston Clausen. A dual score now 21-9. Blaze Ranke at 152 pounds steps out on the mat, state champion for the Broncos.
mat number 4 in the 5th place match in the girls division. We have a tie duel with Carrington and Dickinson tied at 9.
So that was Weston Clausen, the second state champ he faced here. This time it was at 145.
Cobar's wrestling for Carrington, Meyer for Dickinson.
Also wrestled William Cook. So faces Hildry and William Cook. And there's Blaze Ranke with the takedown, has the cradle locked up, had 152 pounds, rolls over and working for the quick pin for the Broncos. And a win by fall for Blaze Ranke over Emmett Laggy of Velva. 21-9, now 27-9 the dual score, going into 160 pounds. So 160, Blaze Ranke, Emmett Laggy, then Ranke with the win by fall. Going into 160 pounds, Eli Lyons for the Broncos. Lyons steps on the mat. Lyons wrestling Noah Werner. Werner tosses Lyons down, catches Lyons. So sophomore Noah Werner catches Lyons, puts him on his back on the edge of the mat. His headgear, broken headgear on that toss by Werner. So we do have a Bank North little equipment timeout, we'll call this. We do have an injury timeout on that match between Killdeer and New Salem Almont. Wrestler down on the mat. And so Hudson Buckles Casson of New Salem Almont down on the mat for the Holsteins. 10-2 is that score. And Buckles in the second period down by 8 against Elijah Ramos. And on the restart, Lyons in the bottom position. Werner is working up over top on Lyons. Lyons going to double up, takes him down here on the edge of the mat. 2-point takedown or 2-point reversal for Lyons. Ties it up at 2 apiece in the first period. Lyons works a chop and purchase on the near side. Feeds the hand on the far side. Now he's going to try to dig out a hammerlock. So 2 apiece between Werner and Lyons. Werner stands up. Lyons goes to the body lock. They're called out of bounds.
Legacy's on a roll. They just won by decision with Sophie and Meyer picking up 3 team points. On the mat right now, we have a couple place winners. Kiara Sharafaros for Legacy is taking on Cheyenne Helen for Central Cat.
And potentially dangerous called on that mat return by Eli Lyons against Noah Werner. Werner came out, threw Lyons to his back on that far center edge of the mat. Picked up the 2-point takedown. Now Lyons with the reversal, tied it up at 2 apiece. And Werner active in the bottom position. Lyons with the mat return, goes down, trying to work a bar arm. Now digs into a chicken wing, grabs the wrist underneath, goes arm bar over the top, lets go the wrist underneath. Trying to muscle it out with Werner, hits the bar half. And another chop by Lyons. Then chicken wing hooked back up. Lyons catches the wrist underneath, has the arm across the back, and walk this around. In the final 20 seconds of this first period, Werner back belly down. Lyons keeping the pressure on, trying to stretch Werner out. Werner still holding his base. Lyons is just going to try to rock back here with Werner. No near fall yet. Lyons working that arm and shoulder. Down to 4 seconds. Now Lyons goes crossface over the top. Hard crossface by Eli Lyons at the end of the first period. And for whatever reason, that clock has to get it reset. They're tied up at 2 going into the second period. Lyons trying to work those pinning combinations. Lowell Werner and muscling down, countering everything Lyons threw at him with those bar arms and chicken wings thrown in. And the officials set the clock back with 2 minutes. 27-9 on your Tim Kized Golden Harvest Seed Sales scoreboard. Broncos up 27-9. So number 1, number 2 going at it here for third place. Broncos go down to the South Border Mustangs by 1 point, 28-27. win by fall at the heavyweight for Shane Nitschke, two-time state champion. Werner takes Lyons down, puts him back to his back. Now Lyons comes up over the top, scramble with Werner. And with the scramble, head tap by Lyons. These two are going at it here, Lyons and Werner. Now Werner catches Lyons. Lyons getting a little reckless, goes body lock on Werner, takes Werner down, throws him to his back. Werner bridges out. 5-2 is your score. The Lions going a little barnyard. Has the 5-2 lead, cross-face cradle, trying to lock it up on Werner. Lions has the crossface. Gonna lock it up. Lions just has to step around to the head. And now on the edge of the mat here for Eli Lyons. Gonna try to walk up towards the head, go hip to hip. And Werner once again breaks the hold by Lyons. Still 5-2 is your score. Now Werner was stalling. 40 seconds on the clock for Eli Lyons. Work another pinning combination in the second period. Still 5-2 is your score. And Matt 6 for 7th place. Carrington and Kimmer Bullbills. 27-28's that dual score. Kirby Freeman out for Carrington and Tucker Tim at 189 pounds for Kenmare Bullbills. And Lyons now gets Werner trying to pick up near fall at the end of the period. And Werner, tough wrestler to throw on the back and collect near fall. Also a sophomore. Lyons a sophomore for the Broncos. Eli Lyons, 34-7 record. Noah Werner, 29-21 for the Velva Aggies. Lyons does have the 5-2 lead. The wrestling styles between these two wrestlers just match up perfectly. Battling out, 5-2 lead for Lyons. They've been all over the mat, tossing each other around. Now 5-2 in the match. Snap down by Lyons. Goes front headlock on Werner, trying to chase the leg. Werner now chin whip. Catches Werner. Lyons hops up over the top, has Werner going to his back, working for the fall. Saturday Night Ride for Lyons in the win by fall for Eli Lyons over Noah Werner. And the Broncos up in the duel, 33-9. And Mike Nelson out, 172 pounds. Nelson wrestling Kelson Maskell, Velva Aggies. Maskell also a senior. Mike Nelson for the Broncos, 21-2 record. He has one loss to Drew Zach, the other one to Jace Nitschke, both finalists at 172. Nelson sat out the first part of the season with an injury. Has this cradle locked up on Kelson Maskell, rolls him over, working for the fall is Mikey Nelson. And the win for Nelson, closing out his senior wrestling career with the win by fall with the cradle. 39-9 is our dual score. So Nelson with the win, 39-9, or with the win by fall. Broncos take the 39-9 lead. Going out at 189 pounds. The 189 pounds. Bad Schwab for the Broncos. Joe Schwab wrestling Evan Wrench. Inch in on a takedown on Schwab. With the 2-point takedown, had Schwab going to his back. Schwab able to get back belly down here with Evan Wrench, a junior for Velva, 14-17 record. So Wrench now trying to chop the arm of Schwab. Works the back ankle. Schwab and Wrench roll out of bounds. You're at 189 pounds. Broncos on that Tim Kajed Golden Heart Seed Sale scoreboard with the 39-9 dual lead, up by 30. And coming up, we will have the finals. Finals not broadcast on yourliveevent.com. So you'll have to tune in to find a radio station or another venue here, since the local Lisbon Broncos not in the championship duel. We won't have that on yourliveevent.com. You'll have to find that with another media source. But that championship duel will feature Northern Lights against the South Border Mustangs. And that's scheduled to start at 4 p.m. These are placing round duels. They will run all the championship duels simultaneously. For both Class A, Class B, and the girls state championship dual team matches. Those all run together. And that match does go final, that duel between Carrington and Kemmer Bulbells Burke Central. So Carrington wins 45-28 in that duel. It's 45-28 win for the Carrington Cardinals at the state dual team tournament. Here's Schwab and Wrench. Wrench with a 2-0 lead at the end of the first period. Chris is going over to the scoring table trying to check something out. Here the coaches meet up in the middle. I think it was maybe a horse apiece, just trying to figure out who had choice to start the period. We'll start the second period, 2 minutes on the clock. Wrench in the bottom position here with Schwab. Wrench, nice sit out, spins back around. Schwab with the drops down to the leg, going to try to return. Wrench takes him down. Big mat return here for Schwab, going up against Wrench. Now Schwab goes 2-on-1 on the far side, gets a little bit high. Gets back around behind the arms and elbows of Evan Wrench. Their match on mat number 8 for a 5th place match between Colton Beeker and New Salem Almont. Christian Ramos. Beeker with the 11-4 lead. That duel scored New Salem Almont up over Killdeer 28-6. And another chin whip, this time set up by Beeker. Beeker has Ramos down on the mat working for a fall for the New Salem Holsteins. That's at 152 pounds. And Ramos able to spin back around, gets on top of Beeker after the 3 near fall. 2 reversal for Christian Ramos. 16-6 is that match score on mat number 8. And just like that, Evan Wrench and Schwab. Here's Schwab with the body lock on Wrench. Going to throw him down. Here's that Matt Schwab working for the fall on Evan Wrench. Schwab caught Wrench in double unders as Wrench was trying to hit an escape. And the win by fall for Matt Schwab here in the state dual team tournament over Evan Wrench. So 45-9, the Broncos rolling over the Velva Aggies here, going to 215 pounds. And now Drew Anderson on the mat for the Broncos. Wrestling Jaden Foss of Velva. Jaden Foss, a sophomore. Anderson goes into Foss here, trying to work a double unders as Foss warned for backing out of bounds. Oh, Anderson and Foss. They're locked up in collar ties. A little shrug by Anderson. They break apart in the first period. Minute 5 on the clock in the first period. Broncos with the lead, 45-9 in the duel. Anderson working a Russian tie on Foss, going into him hard. And wrestlers spin out of bounds. Back to the center for a restart. Here, Kildare, New Salem, battling out at 160 pounds. That match just underway, first period. And that's Gavin Enwich, Riley Kluver for Kildare. Enwich locks up a cradle right away. They're working for the fall for New Salem. New Salem up 33-6 on the Cowboys. New Salem unseated in the tournament. Rolling over, steamrolling the Kildare Cowboys, going into 172 pounds. They lead the duel 39-6. And now Foss with a double leg shot on Anderson with 12 seconds remaining in the first period. So Drew Anderson, Jaden Foss here, mat number 7. Scoreless in the first period, final 5 seconds tick off the clock here. And towel tapper Josie Carblum out. And Anderson defers over to Foss. Foss chooses neutral. So neutral restart. Foss right away dives in on Anderson, collects up that single leg, cracks Anderson down to his hip. Anderson going to try to get those hips up over the top of Foss. Foss trying to take the 2-0 lead here at the restart. Anderson trying to force the stalemate call. Foss still in, Anderson and Foss with the stalemate. A minute 38 on the clock in the second period. And now in over-under position, center of the mat here between Jaden Foss and Drew Anderson on mat number 7, 215 pounds for the Class B third place match in your dual team tournament state championship. Here's Bombach. That's Gus Bombach. Has the 2-0 lead, now 4-0 lead over Matthew Francier of New Salem Almont. That's at 172 pounds. 39-6 that dual score. Bombach catches the wrist of Francier and going to try to run him over. And that match is in the first period. 4-0 lead for Bombach as he works for the fall on the pin for Gus Bombach. 39-12 the dual score. Anderson and Jaden Foss on mat number 7, still scoreless in the second period. And now Foss drops down, hits a single leg. Anderson with the whizzer. Foss trying to pass the arm, limp wrist out of this and arm over on Anderson. Anderson keeps the whizzer dug in there on Jaden Foss. Foss whips Anderson down to the mat, trying to work for a pin now. Pinning combination set up by Foss the final 10 seconds of the period. Anderson with the arm back behind his head. Foss rolls him over and down to 4 seconds on the clock here in the second period. And Anderson survives, gives up the 3 near fall. 5-0 is our score. So 5-0 our score. Anderson down by 5. Start of the third period, 2 minutes on the clock. So Anderson sits out, tries to grab the arm, set up his Peterson roll. Arm slips off on that restart, down to a minute 34 to go. Drew Anderson down 5-0. 215, or I should say 215-pound weight class. And Foss going in. Anderson momentarily caught the leg of Foss. Now he's going to try to hip heist over. Here's Anderson and Foss battling out. Anderson with the 2-point reversal. Foss collects near fall, so 2 near fall and 2 reversal. 5-2 is our score for Foss. Jaden Foss leads by 3. Anderson goes power half up over the top of Jaden Foss. On mat number 7, down to 40. Now 45 seconds remaining in the third period. Foss sworn for stalling. Now a point for Anderson. And Anderson still trying to dig out that wrist of Foss. Foss still keeping that head buried down in the mat. Now Anderson's going to go crossface over the top of Foss. Gets Foss to react. He comes up. Anderson trying to chin drop. Hits the chin drop on Foss. Goes over the top here. In Anderson working for the foul. The pin for Drew Anderson to close out his senior year for the Broncos over Jaden Foss. So Drew Anderson with the win by fall. 51-9 is our dual score for third place. Here's Hinkle and Rimey going out. This is always a battle between Aiden Hinkle and Jamison Rimey. We'll see what happens today on mat number 7. See how much fight the Velva Aggies have left in them here at heavyweight. 285 pounds, still have 107 to go. Rimey and Hinkle, you're at 285 pounds. Hinkle steps into Rimey. Hinkle back work, trying to work a head and arm on Jamison Rimey. Rimey pushes away Hinkle. Rimey, a senior, 28-24 record for the Velva Aggies. Aiden Hinkle Jr. for the Broncos, 20-12. Aiden Hinkle placed 7th at the state tournament. And wrestlers locked up in a collar tie. You take a look over at mat number 8, Brock Norton, William Roundy. 4-0 lead, now 7-0 lead for Brock Norton over William Roundy. You're in a 5th place match, or 5th place duel on mat number 8. That's in the second period, 40 seconds on the clock. 7-0 lead, Norton up over Roundy of Killdeer. New Salem with the 39-12 lead. And we do have a Blank North blood timeout with Rimey and Aiden Hinkle. So Blank North blood timeout. We're back into action. 33 seconds on the clock. 51-9 on your Tim Kajed Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. Broncos lead that duel 51-9. And Hinkle with the 2-point takedown at the end of the first period. Rimey stands up, tries to face Hinkle. Hinkle drops down to a single leg. Again, time expires. 2-0 is our lead. So here, 2-0, Aiden Hinkle with the lead going into the second period on Jamison Rimey. Rimey with the quick sit, turns into Hinkle. Hinkle's going to go to work over top now, backs around behind the arms of Rimey. Rimey stands up, quick stand up by Rimey as they go into the scores table and out of bounds. Getting a little nervous at the scores table with those heavyweights coming into them. They hold their ground. And back for the restart, back to the center of the mat for Aiden Hinkle. Has a 2-0 lead on Jamison Rimey. Broncos and put an exclamation point here on this win with in the duel against Velva here for third place. They're up 51-9 in the duel. Their quarterfinal duel, they won 57-12 over Kenmare Bull Bells. They're trying to put a whooping on the Velva Aggies now, up 51-9 in the duel. Jamison Rimey and Aiden Hinkle. Hinkle's going to let Rimey up. 2-1 is our match score. So match score 2-1, down to minute 5 on the clock in the second period. Hinkle had let Rimey up. Gonna go we'll try to work from his feet. Not able to move Rimey in the bottom position. And 215 pounds step on the mat. New Salem with the big lead over the Killdeer Cowboys. Killdeer, number 5 seeded team. Birch Bang goes out. The senior 27-21 record. Also C.L. Weinberger, junior 23-10. That's at 215 pounds. That's up on mat number 8 between New Salem Almont, up 44-12 over the Killdeer Cowboys. And Hinkle going in, collar ties on Rimey. Final 10 seconds of the second period, down to 5 seconds. And still 2-1's our score at the end of the second period. That Hinkle has choice. He has choice, chooses bottom position here with Rimey. And off the start here, Hinkle tripods up, steps away from Rimey. 1 point escape for Aiden Hinkle. He has the 3-1 lead, has now up by 2 in the match. 51-9 is the dual score. The Broncos up over the Velva Aggies, 51-9, still have a 107-pound match to go. So Rimey and Hinkle. Hinkle did a little rope-a-dope on Rimey, pushes Rimey away. Now 3-1 in the third period. A minute on the clock, 51-9. Here's our dual score. So Hinkle and Rimey. Rimey reaches in, collar tie on Aiden Hinkle. Hinkle goes double overs. So working the Muay Thai, double collars around the neck, now goes down to the elbow. Jamison Rimey snaps down. Hinkle up over the top, tries to go down, turns into Rimey. Rimey trying to snap down Hinkle, drags him down to the mat. 3-1's the score. Rimey's going to try to turn the corner. Has Hinkle snap down. Hinkle back up as Hedger go flying on Aiden Hinkle. And wrestlers back up in the third period here. 22 seconds on the clock for Rimey and Hinkle. And Rimey doing everything he could to snap down Hinkle and get behind him. Rimey back for the restart here in the center of the mat with 22 seconds on the clock in the third period. And a shot and a go behind takedown for Aiden Hinkle. He's up 5-1. Rimey's going to tripod up. He's not going to get up yet. 5-1 lead for Hinkle, down to 10 seconds. Now 5 seconds in the match here. Rimey and Hinkle. Rimey's going to shoot in on Hinkle. Hinkle's going to try to close this one out with 2 seconds on the clock. Here's Rimey, the senior, still working. And 5-3, that's the final score. Aiden Hinkle with the win by decision. 54-9. So 54-9 is our score for the Tim Cozette Golden Harvest Seed Sale scoreboard. And here's Ian Anderson going out for the Broncos at 107 pounds. Broncos up 54-9. And Isaiah Hackman reports in here. Last match of this duel, Broncos with the lead 54-9. Here's Hackman and Anderson. Isaiah Hackman, state place winner for the Aggies. Anderson goes double unders on Hackman. Say no pressure on Anderson this match, can just wrestle. Here, open up now with the Broncos up in this duel, 54-9. Ian Anderson, 26-7 record. Isaiah Hackman, 38-12. Anderson drops down. Back into a double leg shot on Hackman. Hackman's going to try to come up over the top. Anderson has to go ahead between the legs. Forklift position with that big sprawl by Hackman. Does just shoelaces down into the mat.
Ladies and gentlemen, on mat number 4.
So Anderson now has to muscle up, tripods up as Hackman working a spiral on the far side.
Congratulations to the Dickinson.
Anderson sits out, back for restart in the center of the mat here. 107 pounds, third place duel between the Broncos and the Velva Aggies. Broncos up here, Tim Kazed, Golden Heart Seed Sales scoreboards, 54-9 here. Anderson with the body lock on Hackman. They're going to roll out of bounds. And Anderson had turned the corner on Hackman, but Hackman kept the momentum going. Anderson not able to secure the takedown. Here, that score in the duel, 54-9 for the Broncos. Scoreless in the first period of this match at 107 pounds between Isaiah Hackman and Ian Anderson. Now Hackman in on the high crotch. Anderson's going to try to hit this iron cross. Hackman's going to work back around on Anderson. Now Hackman goes cradle. He's going to roll Anderson over to his hip with 20 seconds on the clock. Isaiah Hackman works head in the hole. He will pick up the 2-point takedown, hooks the back ankle of Ian Anderson. Anderson still dropped down on his belly. Hackman with the cradle now stretches out, breaks the grip. As time expires in the first period, 2-0 our score. Anderson defers. Hackman has choice, and we're going neutral. Here's the Holstein. C.L. Weinberger takes Birch Bang. Back around, no near fall given up. Still 2-1 lead for Birch Bang of Killdeer. A senior with the 27-21 record. Wrestling C.L. Weinberger, the junior, 23-10. And that's a win for Birch Bang. Win by decision over C.L. Weinberger. Puts 3 points on the board for the Holsteins. 44-15, that dual score for 5th place. Anderson and Hackman at the start of the second period. It's still 2-0. Anderson deferred over to Hackman. Hackman chooses neutral to start this period. Anderson goes up over Hackman, now working double unders. Still working in. Here's Hackman, drops down Anderson. Returns the favor, trying to double up on Hackman. Hackman backs up off the mat. Now Anderson goes up over the top, trying to snap down Hackman, gets him down on the edge. Anderson going to try to turn the corner. Hackman sticks that arm up to the outside, blocks Anderson, going chin whip, trying to run Hackman over. Hackman goes forklift on Anderson. Anderson reaches through, goes hip whizzer. Takes Hackman over onto his hip. We have a stalemate called with 29 seconds remaining in the second period. Still 2-0 lead for Isaiah Hackman on Ian Anderson.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official over.
So down to 20 seconds, second period. Hackman, Anderson's going to run over. Hackman just missed it. Turns the corner, 2-point takedown for Anderson. So Anderson finally gets back around behind Isaiah Hackman for the 2-point takedown. We're tied up at 2 apiece with 8 seconds remaining. And a fresh restart with 5 seconds on the clock. See if Anderson can ride out Hackman at the end of the second period. Has 5 seconds. Anderson will have choice going into the third period. So on the start, not contested by either wrestler on that restart with 5 seconds, still tied up at 2 apiece. Wrestling for third place, we're at 107 pounds. That duel went final between New Salem and Killdeer. That was 50-21, New Salem Almont over the Killdeer Cowboys. New Salem number 5 seeded team, or Killdeer the number 5 seeded team, New Salem unseeded. So Anderson and Hackman still and still fighting it out here. Anderson is in the bottom position. He tied it up at 2 with that takedown at the end of the period. Hackman in the top position has a leg right in on Anderson. Anderson caught the arm. Going to try to hip over on Hackman. Hackman's going to try to drag Anderson back with that leg ride. Hits the chin whip. Anderson and Hackman. Now Anderson kind of trying to shake off Hackman. He's a little bit high here on Anderson. Anderson gets those hips up in the air, trying to elevate up over the top. Hackman now rolls through. Hackman drags Anderson back down to the mat. Anderson still trying to shake Hackman here and gets out of position here. Anderson finally to his feet on the edge of the mat. Hackman drops down. They're called out of bounds with 49 seconds remaining in the third period. We're tied up at 2 between Isaiah Hackman and Ian Anderson. Body language of Hackman and a caution. He throws his head back and walks back. Not sure what he's. Now Anderson stands up. Hackman throws in the leg here. We're tied up at 2. Hackman's going to try to throw Anderson back, and he's going to collect near fall. Here with Anderson, he has a 4-2 lead, down to 30 seconds remaining for Anderson. Here with Hackman. Now Anderson steps over the top with Hackman. He's going to go out front. 20 seconds on the clock for Anderson to work a reversal. Hackman's just going to hang on to the leg. He has the 4-2 lead and stalling. 1 point for Anderson. And 4 threes are scored. 15 seconds on the clock. Here for Ian Anderson, Isaiah Hackman on the start. Hackman goes down to the ankle, sticks in the leg on Anderson. Anderson's going to hit a headlock on Hackman here. And they're going down, hip down here for Anderson. Anderson has Hackman going over. And Anderson with the near fall. And the near fall and the takedown and the pin for Anderson at the end of the period. Are you kidding me? Just like that, Ian Anderson. We'll see if the fall and the pin counts. But Anderson pulls out the win, at least the win by decision. Reaches back around, grabs the head of Isaiah Hackman. So Broncos do get the pin. 60-9 is your win here for Ian Anderson, with the win by fall at the end of the period over Isaiah Hackman. Anderson closes out his season with a pin of state place winner Isaiah Hackman. Broncos win the duel 60-9. Big blowout win and for that third place duel over the Velva Aggies. So that wraps up that duel. Third place duel. Broncos taking third place at the North Dakota State Dual Team Championship. Win 60-9 over the Velva Aggies. We'll step away, take a word from our sponsors, come back and recap that duel between the Velva Aggies and the Lisbon Broncos.
Almost half of the energy used in homes goes toward heating and cooling the spaces we live in. Energy Star certified heating and cooling equipment can improve your comfort while lowering electric bills. Through its Bright Energy Solutions program, City of Hillsboro offers rebates for a wide range of energy-efficient equipment like heat pumps and central air conditioners. You can also get a rebate for having your cooling system professionally tuned up. Call the City of Hillsboro to learn more about rebates or visit brightenergysolutions.com.
Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada, coming soon. 7 used Fendt 1162 twin tracks. Coming in time for spring work. Hours ranging from 430 to 875 hours. Call Chuck or Neil for more information on these Fendt twin tracks for spring field work. Ziegler Ag Equipment now providing farm delivery of genuine AGCO lubricants. Talk with Joey for more details of how you can mix and match lubricants. 218-784-2961. Ziegler Ag Equipment, Highway 9 North Ada.
You're welcome back. YourLiveEvent.com here. Wrap up our coverage of the North Dakota State Class B Wrestling Tournament on the individual, and that's also on the dual team side here on YourLiveEvent.com. As the Lisbon Broncos roll over the Velva Aggies for third place, 57-9 for your third place duel. So the Broncos with the win take their first place. They opened up their first round action with the win over Kenmare Bullbells, Burke Central, KBBC, Kenmare Hawkers, 57-12. Rolled into the semifinals and dropped that semifinal duel to the South Border Mustangs by a score of 28-27. Bounced back here in a big way over the Velva Aggies by a score of 57-9. And I have Drew Anderson here for the Lisbon Broncos. Drew, in that match, you wrestled Foss here, and you were down in that match. I believe it was 5-3.
Yep.
And coming up on the end of the period, you're in the bottom position. And then what was going through your mind at that point? You know, you could have just said, hey, I'm just going to hunker down here and take this loss by decision. But you came back there with the big pin. So what was your mindset there going into the match and then down by 2 points?
He was thinking I just got to get out, and then I can work for my feet to try to get him down. And then he cross-faced me, so I just leaned back into it, and then I got the reversal. And then hit the cross-face. He sat out, and I just chin dropped him from there.
All right, Drew, congratulations on that win in the duel. Broncos coming out of that semifinals, you guys dropped a close one. It's always a competitive duel between Lisbon and South Border. But as you went out of that duel, what was kind of the team going through, or what was kind of the discussion between the South Border duel going in to wrestle the Velva Aggies?
We just have to keep our head up, and let's come back and get third. It's a tough loss, but it'll happen in life, and that's how life goes.
Yep, and Broncos bounce back in a big way, winning this duel 57-9. As you close out your senior season as a Bronco, going out with that big win in the duel here in the third place duel. What's kind of one of your takeaway as wrestling for the Lisbon Broncos as you close out your season?
That we're all just family, and we just work together to get things done, and we always be brothers.
All right, everybody, that's Drew Anderson for Lisbon Broncos picking up the win at 215 pounds over Jaden Foss by fall in 540. And our dual final score is 57-9 with the Broncos taking third place. And just kind of we'll go over, recap this duel. We did start at 114 pounds with Cruz Ranke over Lucas Soli by fall. Broncos led 6-0. Pitch Hager won by decision over Grayson Lyons. Not tired. The dual scores then 6-3. 127 pounds Cashin Wason over Wader Barsted. Noah Anderson won by decision over Maddox Campbell. 9-3. Jordan Dick won by fall. And 30 seconds over Lexton Smith. And then Velva answered back with state champion Carson Hildre over Weston Clausen by fall. Weston Clausen doing the heavy work for the Broncos today, taking on two state champions. The second one here with Carson Hildre, he lost by fall in 2:17. And then Broncos get it rolling here at 152 pounds and put together consecutive wins starting at 152 all the way through 107 pounds. Here's Blaze Ranke over Emmett Loggy by fall. Eli Lyons over Noel Werner, 434 pin for Lyons. Mike Nelson by fall over Kelson Maskell in 36 seconds. Mad Schwab, another big pin for the Broncos over Evan Wrench in 3:23. Drew Anderson by fall over Jaden Foss in 5:40. Aiden Hinkle over Jamison Rimey by decision 5-3, and Ian Anderson closes it out. And they do have the win by decision, so it was a win by decision for Anderson, as at the last second he picks up the head and arm, picks up the reversal, and had some near fall coming after that, and he picks up the win by 5-4 decision, and that final dual score is 57-9. The Broncos take third place at your North Dakota State Dual Team Championship, or Dual Team Tournament, and that closes out our coverage here on the Class B side over the past 3 days here, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on yourliveevent.com. So we will step away here and see you next season for your coverage of North Dakota Class B Wrestling on yourliveevent.com.
This is Dustin Nagel with Dakota Heritage Bank. We're a family-owned community bank where decisions are made locally. At Dakota Heritage Bank, we can assist you with all of your banking needs, including checking and savings accounts, credit and debit cards, loans of all types, and more. We offer free mobile banking, online banking, and bill pay services. Just go to dhbanknd.com or download the mobile app for convenient on-the-go banking with Dakota Heritage Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting what's important in life.
See your local Farmers Union insurance agent Jennifer Worley in Cavalier.